Welcome to the Ghostly Chronicles, the Shipwreck's Keeper. Miles off the coast of Nova Scotia, beneath the storm-tossed waves, lay the wreck of the... It was said to have sunk over 2 centuries ago, its captain cursed for smuggling artifacts stolen from an ancient burial ground. Locals claimed that no one who dove to the wreck ever returned, and that on certain nights the ship itself could be seen floating, fully intact, under a blood-red moon. Jack and Elena, 2 marine explorers, weren't ones to believe in curses. They had salvaged dozens of wrecks before, and the legend of thee was too lucrative to pass up. The ship was said to have carried not just gold, but strange artifacts of incalculable value. On a cold, stormy night, with the moon glowing in eerie crimson, they launched their boat, determined to uncover the truth. The sea was unnervingly still as their boat hovered over the wreck's coordinates. Jack checked the sonar. It confirmed what they were looking for. A massive shape rested on the seafloor below, but as he stared at the screen, the shape seemed to shift, almost like it was breathing. "Jack, that's just interference." The two geared up and dove into the water. As they descended, the world grew darker, the beams of their lights cutting through the murky depths. Finally, they appeared. The ship was eerily intact, its hull covered in barnacles but otherwise untouched by time. The water around it felt unnaturally cold, and a low hum vibrated in their ears, though neither could pinpoint its source. They entered through a gaping hole in the hull. Inside, the ship was a labyrinth of shadowed corridors and tilted rooms. Jack and Elena split up, each searching for clues to the treasure. In the captain's quarters, Elena found a chest. It was carved with strange, jagged symbols that seemed to writhe under her flashlight. She opened it carefully, revealing a blackened, misshapen idol, its eyes made of some kind of shimmering gemstone. As she lifted it, the hum grew louder, and she swore she heard whispers echoing through the water. Meanwhile, Jack explored the lower deck. He found skeletal remains, crew members frozen mid-motion, their hollow eye sockets staring at him. But as he moved closer, the bones shifted, as if the long-dead sailors were watching him. He backed away, his breathing quickening inside his mask. The hum grew louder here too, and he thought he heard a voice, a deep guttural growl, calling his name. Elena returned to the deck, clutching the idol. "Elena, we've hit the jackpot!" Jack was about to respond when the ship began to creak. The walls pulsed, as though alive, and the water grew darker, thicker, like ink. The skeletal crew started to move. First it was small twitches, then jerking motions, their heads turning toward the explorers in unison. "Jack! Get out!" Elena hesitated, her gaze fixed on the idol. "Elena, no! We have to take it! It's worth millions!" The skeletal crew began to rise, their bony hands reaching toward her. Jack grabbed Elena's arm, dragging her toward the exit as the ship seemed to groan in protest. The walls oozed black liquid, and the water itself felt like it was trying to pull them back. They swam desperately toward the surface, but the wreck wasn't done with them. A massive shadow loomed below. The ship itself seemed to rise, its masts stretching like claws. A voice echoed in their minds, ancient and furious. "You will not leave." As they broke the surface, the ocean around them boiled. Their boat was gone, replaced by the ghostly silhouette of the floating impossibly above the waves. The air was filled with the sound of screaming, hundreds of voices wailing in agony. Elena clutched the idol, but its gemstones glowed now, casting an unnatural light on her face. She screamed as it burned her hands, then threw it into the sea. The moment it hit the water, the ship let out a deafening roar and sank beneath the waves, taking the storm with it. Jack and Elena floated in silence, the calm sea stretching endlessly around them. Hours later, they were rescued by a passing fishing boat. When they tried to explain what had happened, their rescuers only shook their heads. Old fishermen. Everyone knows you don't go near the ocean keeps what it claims. But that night, as Jack and Elena tried to sleep, they both heard it. A low hum, vibrating through the walls of their cabin. And when Jack looked out the window, the blood-red moon shone bright, and far in the distance the ghostly silhouette of the rose again. Please like, share, and subscribe.